Okay, in this video we're going to look at how to get started with Dreamweaver in terms of building our Bootstrap website. Well, the first thing you need to do is in your files area you need to have a root folder. Now I've already created one here called Bootstrap Disney Demo, and inside that root folder I've got some subfolders which contain further subfolders which contain images that we're going to use for our gallery and that we're going to use on the page as well. There's also an images folder which contains the banner, but the key thing is that you need to have a root folder so that you can define a site within Dreamweaver, and that's our next step. So when we get to Dreamweaver, we need to go to the site menu and create a new site. I'm going to call it Bootstrap Disney Demo, and then I need to browse and find the root folder that I've just talked about in my files area, and here it is. Here's Bootstrap Disney Demo. Make sure you don't choose one of the subfolders, that you are actually choosing the root folder, and choose. When you click save, you'll then see over here on your files tab, you'll see your root folder and you'll see the subfolders that are contained within that root folder. If you can't see your files tab, you'll need to go to the window menu and open up files by making sure there's a tick next to it. So that's how, very important, and you need to have your root folder defined. Once you've done that, you've got the welcome screen here in Dreamweaver. If you don't see that, you can just go to File and New, and this will pop up. We want to create a new HTML document. Now the new document dialog box comes up, and there are two tabs here on the framework, and we want to make sure that we're working on Bootstrap. So it's very important you got that tab selected, not the none. We want to create a new Bootstrap CSS. We're not going to attach any existing CSS files, but we will make some later on when we get through the video course. We don't want a pre-built layout. Often that's ticked by default. What that means is it will create a page with a navigation menu, with a carousel, with a grid system already laid out. We don't want to do that. We want to start with a blank page and start to build our own layout, because we know what our layout is because we've designed it. So I'm going to take that tick off. Customize here allows us to decide how many columns we're going to use. We're going to stick with the default of 12 columns. Gutter is the spacing between those columns, so 30 pixel spacing is the default. That's fine. Then here we've got our breakpoints for our different screen resolutions. So small relates to the tablet. So in other words, what we're saying here is that screens that are between 768 pixels and 992 pixels are going to be tablet size screens. Screens that are larger than 992 are going to be our desktop, and then we've got a larger desktop further than that. Any screen smaller than 768 pixels will be classed as mobile device screens. I'm just going to click create, and it will create a page for me, but it's also done something else as well here in Dreamweaver. Inside my root folder, it has automatically created 3 other folders, and this is what happens when you create a Bootstrap website in Dreamweaver. It will automatically make a CSS folder, a fonts folder, and a JavaScript folder, and these files contain the necessary Bootstrap and jQuery JavaScript files that are required to build a responsive website, and it will contain the necessary Bootstrap CSS file as well. So this is all the pre-written code that allows your web page to resize and respond to different screen sizes. So these folders are created automatically, and they are critical that they are sitting inside your root folder. So as long as you've defined a site correctly, they will be there, and they are very important when it comes to us building our web page. So that's where you get started in terms of setting up. In the next video we'll look at how we can then start to make our rows and our columns that we need to build the grid structure for our content to sit into.